I want to tell you something very serious. Satan is arriving in Australia. He'll be there tomorrow because Julie Bishop invited him. Benjamin Netanyahu is going to be in Australia, and there are protests around the country. In Sydney tomorrow, at the town hall, they will be holding a gathering and a protest, and a couple ANC members are down there, and they will be getting some footage of that and sending it my way, and I will post it up on YouTube. Just for kicks, I'm going to show you a very tiny clip of a 3-hour talk I gave in Sydney last December where I warned them that the devil was coming.
Now I'm going to show you, don't hit the next slide yet because I want to warn everyone. This is graphic, and if you just ate lunch, be careful, be forewarned. So go ahead and hit the next slide. It's pretty disgusting. Oh geez, sorry. Yes, it is disgusting, these creatures. So you have Julie Bishop, the Foreign Minister of Australia, next to Satan. That's right, right? That's Benjamin Netanyahu.
Responding with the King of Georgia last week at the Shangri-La Hotel.
She will hit the next slide. I'll tell you what else she's done. Now, of course, she invited the devil, or Evie, sorry, to Australia. Will be the first Israeli Prime Minister to visit Australia. He was also the first and only Israeli Prime Minister to be born in Israel, although he went to school in Pennsylvania. And not ironically, Netanyahu is the same guy who was caught working through Heli Trading Company smuggling Python triggers to Israel for their illegal nuclear program that everybody knows they have and they won't admit. And so, but Julie Bishop too. Hillary Clinton lost. That's just fun to say. Hillary Clinton lost. Not that it was pretty much the choice between two evils, but the Clinton Foundation is sinking. Now, Australia pumped in over $88 million to the Clinton Foundation. And they didn't even bother laundering the money through Frank Gustra in Canada like most do, like the Saudis do, or Qatar. They just gave the money, and they were giving money to some subsidiaries of the Clinton Foundation. Now, that Hillary Clinton lost. How much is Australia giving the Clinton Foundation? 0. So they said to Julie, were you trying to buy influence? Oh no, it was for the children of Haiti. Maybe Clinton's outside. It seems like someone's calling. It was for the children of Haiti, the altruistic reasons like I stated before. And of course, okay, but now you're giving 0, so do you not care about children suddenly as soon as Clinton's no longer going to be the president? And of course, she was buying influence. And not the proper kind of influence. And so you see this all the time. And now Bibi's going to come to Australia, and when we find out the date and when he's coming, I think you ought to meet him at the airport with your Palestinian flags and the rest of it, en masse. Because these people need to be shamed and embarrassed everywhere they go. It's completely indefensible to justify what's happened in Palestine. Complete racial apartheid, marriage laws against different ethnic groups. You have to be a certain ethnic religious category to have certain rights. It can't be defended. The only weapon they have is labeling you a racist and calling you names. That they can't stand people like us. The opposition they want somebody with a shaved head and tattoos and swastikas and saying this about the Jews and things like that. They don't know how to handle proper opposition. You cannot justify racial colonization, and so when Netanyahu comes, I would be embarrassed if Australians don't protest his arrival. And you need to film it yourselves, because this online media is overtaking. You can pressure the mass media to just try to cover stories more, but I agree with Grant Smith. We don't have to change the media, just replace them. Newspaper readership is down. They're trying to label fake news sites. Everybody's a Russian propagandist. That's the new one. Some of my sites were on that list, which I know are not Russian propaganda.
You can watch that whole thing if you are on my Patreon, and that link is below. If you're an ANC member, you can also watch it.